Debit card spending jumped 82% compared with a year ago for the 7-day period ended March 27th. And peak spending occurred 6 days after the checks were deposited. So where is the money being spent? Joining me now is Meyer, head of U.S. economics at Bank of America Global Research. Michelle, welcome. Where is the money going?
Well, it's going throughout the economy, frankly. It is a lot of money pumping in, and consumers are spending quite broadly. When you dig into the details and you try to understand the sectors, a few stand out. Furniture spending was really, really strong on the back of this latest round of stimulus, and that reflects what we've seen in the housing market, greater churn of the housing stock, more movement, people looking to upgrade their homes. We also saw some pretty impressive spending on clothing in department stores, which could suggest that people are starting to think about going back out and refreshing their wardrobe when they re-enter the economy. And then also restaurants, especially relative to the last two rounds of stimulus. This time around, restaurants did receive additional funds.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about, are we talking now about the stimulus checks that have just gone out in the last 10 days or so, or are we talking about the ones that went out at the end of the year, or both, or what?
So we're primarily focused in this analysis on the latest round of stimulus, Stimulus 3.0.
Got it.
And that's because, even though, yes, the stimulus as it's distributed has a jolt to the economy in the first few days after receipt, but it multiplies and will continue to support the economy thereafter. But what we're really trying to understand is the consumer reaction upon receiving the additional funds. How much do they spend and where do they spend, and how long does that last in terms of creating that big kind of incremental boost to stimulus recipients versus non-recipients?
It's interesting that clothing seems to be coming back. Maybe that's as people go back into offices. Maybe it's that they're going out and socializing more. But you point out that the stimulus recipients are spending double what the non-recipients are on clothing.
That's right. That's just in the period following the distribution of stimulus payments. There was a big jolt to spending on clothing in department stores among stimulus recipients relative to non-recipients. So it showed that the incremental dollars were indeed supporting that type of spend.
There was a lot of talk that this new stimulus money was going to go into the market. It was going to go either into savings. Let's separate that from the market. When I think of savings, I'm thinking largely of cash equivalents or savings accounts, which pay you nothing. But there were a lot of people who said, "Oh, this money, a lot of this money's going to go into speculation and into cryptocurrency and all that stuff." You see any of that?
Well, we're not tracking that. We're only tracking the change in consumer spending. And the reality is that this stimulus, especially relative to the last one in January, even relative to the first one, it was a larger dollar amount per household. So even if there is this distribution of spend, some is distribution of payments, some is on spending, some is on savings, maybe some is for investments. It lifts all of these categories. So when you try to think about the impact of these dollars on the economy, it's not as simple as to say, okay, people are going to use the money for X and not for Y.
Right.
It's quite contrary. They're using it for everything. For everything. Certainly, our data shows a big boost to spending.
Let me dive a little deeper there, if I might. You're tracking spending as measured, right? You're tracking spending as measured by credit card activity and things like that, correct?
We're tracking spending from aggregated total card spending. Yeah.
Card spending. So you've got spending, and you've got spending up whatever it was, 87%, 82% compared with a year ago. Not surprising, I suppose, because at that point everybody had gone into their dens and their warrens below ground. But if you've got spending up that much and it's coming back in travel, it's coming back in clothing, it's coming back in all other areas, can you infer from that, if the checks were $1,400 or whatever they were, that relatively little of it is going into investment and savings, or can you make any conclusion like that?
So a few things to remember with those comments. First is the 1 year change, as you noted, is certainly impacted by base effects. This time last year, the economy was shutting down. So much more prudent to look at a 2 year change when trying to understand the underlying trend, and even trying to compare it to the prior two rounds of stimulus distributions. And then in terms of kind of following the money, look, you have to be careful in the sense of trying to understand how the funds are being distributed into the economy. The one thing that we can say very clearly is that a good portion were used on consumer spending, and we think that's being reflected not only in aggregated card data, but frankly in a variety of different economic indicators.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.